Everyone, good day everyone. My name is Toto and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to subscribe if you are doing the following subjects, being your computer practice. Now today we'll be focusing on our computer practice, but then if you're also doing the following subjects, please be sure to subscribe if you are doing your financial accounting, computer practice, and also your computerized financial system, which is your CFS. But then today we'll be focusing on our computer practice. So please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any more videos that I'll be posting, because this is not the only video that I'll be posting, but there are many more videos that I'll be posting, doing all the activities, some of the activities. So mostly I'll be doing past question papers. So for example, today we'll be focusing on this past question papers. This past question paper, it's N6 computer practice. As you can see, it's computer practice N6. So here is the answer sheet. So please be sure to like and subscribe if ever this video is helpful to you, and check out other videos which I've posted concerning the computer practice. So there are many more videos I've posted already. So yeah, without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into the question paper. So today we'll be doing this question paper. So I think it's 2022 June. So this is the 2022 June question paper. So if you have it with you, yeah, you can just go through the question paper as I move along. But then for those who do not have the question paper, here is the question paper. I'll be reading the questions from here and then going back to the answer sheet in order to do the necessary adjustments. But then, so let's go straight into the question paper. So they're saying it's question 10A. So we'll be doing question 10A, and then there's also question 10B. But then we'll start with A. So question 10A, they're saying what? They're saying retrieve the file marks that has been saved in the computer practice. So this information is when you're doing your exam, when you're writing your exam. So this marks will be saved inside your exam folder. But then for now, we're not focusing on that. Number 2, they're saying as a header, key in your examination number and computer number, and also your question number as indicated in the instruction. So that's your header and footer. So how do you do that? It's quite simple. You go to insert, if I'm not mistaken, and then you have your header and footer. And then maybe they'll tell you on the left side, you write in your ID number, so being whatever, or your student number. And then on the right hand side, maybe they say you must write question. Let me just, I don't know if you all can see. Let me just make it a bit bigger. Okay, let me just finish this quickly and I'll make it bigger. Question 10A, and then on the center, I don't know what they said was right, but then yeah, this is more or less what they're talking about. So let me just try to make it bigger. Hey, it's fine like this. Okay, so yeah, here is all the information, all the necessary information. So I took it upon myself to make sure that we have the structure of our answer sheet. So going back to the question paper, so that's our header and footer. And then number 3, they're saying number 3, so we are here, draw. So we are doing number 3. So now we are here on number 3. So they're saying edit the document below the next page as indicated in the instructions and according to the proofreading signs. So so how you edit, so it's supposed to be like this, more or less like this. So the only thing that I didn't include was your sort and filter. So the question paper, they said you must sort the spreadsheet alphabetically according to column A. So here is our column A. So we must sort the spreadsheet alphabetically according to column A. So what we're going to do, we're just going to highlight, because also the information needs to change. So we're going to highlight like this, and then we say what? sort and filter. So we come to home tab and then sort and filter, and then sort A to Z, so A to Z, and then as you can see the names have changed, so it's called Free First, Mandla, and then kanjalo. So also the gender and also the test marks also changed according to the names. So moving on from that, what else do we need to do? So we're going to number 4. We're doing number 4 now. We're doing number 4. They're saying change the font of the entire document to area 10 pt. So change the font of the entire document to area 10 pt. So what do they mean? You just highlight everything. Okay, so just highlight everything. Okay, and then you change the font to Arial 10. So it's supposed to be 10 here, but then I'll leave it as 12 so that we all can see the information written. Yes, so I'll just leave it at 12 because if I make it at 10 it will be too small, and then maybe some of you guys won't be able to see. But then moving on, we're doing question 5. So number 5, so this is the part. So this is the part of the formulas, how you do all your formulas. So what needs to happen here? What needs to happen? They're saying insert formulas or function where the letter of the alphabet appears to do the following calculations and bold all the answers below. Cutting and bold all the answers below. Yeah. So we have A until E. So it's A until E. So we'll start with A and then come to B, C, D, E until we are done with all our formulas. So let me just indicate where A is indicated on the answer sheet. So coming back to our answer sheet, so A is here, letter A is here, and then they said you must range after that. After you get your first answer for A, you must just drag down and then get the rest of the answer. So I'll show you how to drag down and all those things. But then for now, yeah, moving on. So and then here, this is where you calculate your B, and then this is where you calculate your C, and then we just this is where you calculate your C, and then this is D, and then you have your E here if I'm not mistaken. Yes, like this. So you're going to calculate A, B, C, D, and E according to your question paper. So now we're focusing on A being the surname. So today we'll be doing VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP also together with what? The if function. So we'll be doing VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and the if function. Okay, so A, they're saying assign the surname to the reference table in cell B16. Assign the surname to the reference table cell B16 to D2023. Use the reference table and the appropriate function to calculate and display the surname column. So you must assign the surname to what? To table B16 until D23. So you're coming back to our answer sheet. They said B16. So B16. So here is our B16 until D23. Until D23. So B16 and until D2023. So this is the table that they are talking about. So we must assign that table. So the table must be named surname. So just write. So we just come here. Just if I don't know if you all can see, but then we're coming straight here, and then you just tap, and then you write surname, and then you just write surname and then enter. So this table now has been assigned as surname. So if you highlight, if you can see here, we have our E20 because the cursor is on E20, so it's E20. And then if we highlight the table, if we highlight the entire table accordingly, it will say surname. Because why? Because we assigned the whole table as surname. So that's how you assign. And then what else are we required to do? So after you assign, then you say use the reference table and appropriate function to calculate and display the surname column. So as I've said before, that we'll be doing our if function, and we'll be doing our if function, HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP, when they're talking about VLOOKUP, it's vertical lookup. So vertical lookup being you're looking for information going down, and then HLOOKUP, you're looking for information going horizontally. So H is for horizontal, and then the VLOOKUP is for vertical lookup. So vertical lookup, so you will know because you're going vertically and then you're going horizontally. I don't know if you all can understand, but then so you must know, if when they say you must calculate using this reference table, you must already know that you must use what? You must use your VLOOKUP. You must know that this one it's VLOOKUP. You must already know that it's VLOOKUP. So when you're calculating B, maybe for B they will say use this one, this table, this reference table. Then you must know that this reference table it's HLOOKUP. So in this case, we'll be here on the first, on the surname. So we're saying equals to, we're looking for what, Konje? We're looking for our surname. So we're looking for whose surname? We're looking for Godfrey surname. So not like this, man. We start, we say VLOOKUP, and then open bracket, and then if you can read here, they're saying lookup value. So what are we looking up? We're looking who? We're looking for Godfrey. We're looking for who? For Godfrey. And then where are we? The table criteria, the table area, it's this table. They said you must use what? This table to look up who? To look up the surname of Godfrey. So if you can see, you can drag, you can highlight the way I highlighted, or you can simply write surname here, because we already assigned the name surname to this table. But then after you highlight, automatically it shows you that the table name is what? Is surname. And then you just say comma, and then column number, column index number. So the column index number next. What's next is our column index number. So the surname is it in column 1 or column 2 or column 3? So as you can see, the surname is on column 2. So you just say what? You just say they must look up the name on column 2, and then comma, and then the range lookup, you can just say 0, and then close bracket. And then when you say enter, it will show you the surname of Godfrey. Is it Mhlongo? Let's check if it's Mhlongo. We're looking for who? Godfrey. So Godfrey, the surname is who? Is Mhlongo. I don't know if you understood that. So I will just do the first 2, and then I will arrange the rest. So but then in your exam, to save time, you just do the first one and then just range, and then you get the rest of the names. So how do you range? You come, there's a little box here on down here. Just if you can see, there's this little box. Then when you come to this little box, it will give you this cross. So once you get this cross, that's when you know that you can range. And then if you want to check the formula, here's the formula. If on your formula bar, or you can just double click, and then it will show you a formula that is equals to lookup, and then you are looking for who? You're looking for whoever, and then surname, column 2, kanjalo. So yeah, I don't know if you understood that, but then if you didn't understand, please go back to Godfrey and see how we did Godfrey. Okay, so let me just do Mtaung. let me just do Taung. So let's say, for example, we are not given from Taung, we just say is equals to VLOOKUP, and then open bracket, and then who are we looking for? We're looking the lookup value. Lookup value is who? Moeletsi. Is Moeletsi. And then we say comma, table area. You can just write surname because we already assigned the table as surname, and then it will automatically highlight. And then you just say comma, the column index is what? Is 2. And then you say comma, lookup range, you can just say comma 0, just like that. And then we close bracket, and we say enter, and then Moeletsi is Mutaung. If you can see Moeletsi, the surname of Moeletsi is who? Mutaung. So that's how you do your VLOOKUP. Now I'll be doing letter B. So let's look at our question as to what is required of us. So now we are at letter B. So they say assign the name initial to the reference table A25 to H26. So A25 to H26. So we're coming back to our question, to our answer sheet, to what? To assign the name. They said what? A25 until H26. So it's A25 until H26. So this is the table they're talking about. So you must assign it. So how do you assign? You just come here on the name box, and then you just cancel, and then you write initials. I think the spelling is correct. Okay, they said initial, not initials. So it's initial, and then you say enter. So now the table has been assigned. So when you highlight, you can see that it says the name is what? Initials. So B is supposed to do it on this row, or on this column, actually on this column. So it's HLOOKUP, because I told you that you look at the table, and then this one, if you need to use this table, it's VLOOKUP actually. And then when you're doing this, is the horizontal lookup. So it's HLOOKUP. So on the HLOOKUP, we're looking up what? The initials, because it's also written here initials. So it's pretty clear that we're looking for what? For our initials. So we're saying it's equals to HLOOKUP. So you can just double click, and then the lookup value, we're looking for who? Godfrey. Yes, we're looking for Godfrey. We're looking for who? For Godfrey. Let me say comma, and then the table, we already assigned the table as initial, so you can just write initial, and then you say comma, row number. So row number, the initials are in row number 2, because this is the name Sharon, the name row is row number 1, and then the initial row is row number 2. So we say comma 2, and then comma 0, and then close bracket, and then enter. So when you say enter, it says G. So Godfrey, the initial is G. So let's confirm is Godfrey's initial is G. So as you can see here, the Godfrey's initial is what? Is G. So meaning the formula is correct. So you can just drag down the rest of the formulas, the rest of the cells actually. So that's how you do your HLOOKUP. If ever I'm going too fast for you, please, you can rewatch the video as many times as you like, so that you can understand all that happened in order to get our VLOOKUP and our HLOOKUP. Okay, so moving on. So moving on from our HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So next we're supposed to do our C. So C is what? Test percentage. So we are done with B. So they said use the reference table and appropriate function to calculate and display the initial columns. So we done that part. So now we're coming where? To C. We're coming to C. We're coming to what? To C. So they're saying calculate the test 1 percentage by using the value given in E5. So let's go check what value is in E5. So we're looking for what? E5. So this is the value given in E5, which is the 110 or the 110, which is our possible mark, 110. And then going back to our question paper, they're saying display the values as percentage with no decimals. Display the value as what? As percentage. As percentage with no decimals. So how do we do that? How do we do that? We just come back. Okay, let's go back to our answer sheet. So they're saying calculate test 1. Test 1 is the percentage. So let's just remove the C. So we say is equals to our test 1 mark. Here's our test 1 mark. So the 95. We divided by what? We divided by our 110. We divided by our 110. And then you just say enter. 86%. Is it 86%? Okay, so let me just do it. So it's not supposed to give me the 86% directly, exactly straight. It's supposed to say, maybe let's say it's equals to 95 over 110, which is equals to, yes. So when you say the way I just did it, it's supposed to give you something like, when you say enter, it was supposed to give you something like 0.8 what, and then this amount. Then you have to change it into your percentage. How do you do that? You just come here on your numbers, your number tab, because you have your font alignment and then your number. Just come here and then just click on this percentage sign, and then you say percentage, and then it will give you a percentage. So maybe some of the computers, maybe it will be percentage comma whatever. They said 0 decimal place, so 0 decimal meaning it must be a whole number like this. Okay, so here's the formula. So this one, it has already been made into a percentage. So after we get the first answer, you just drag to save time. So you just drag. Okay, so when we drag, as you can see, some of the answers are incorrect. So meaning we did something wrong. Let's see why this answer is incorrect. Why? Because it said this divided by test 1 instead of saying by the E5. So this is supposed to stick on E5, but it keeps going down. If you can see also here, it said this amount, our test 1 mark divided by this, and this is supposed to stay where? On this E5. So how do we do that? How do we make it stick on E5? So your formula. So you look at what needs to be. So in this case, you need to use absolute cell referencing. So absolute cell referencing is what? Making sure that a certain cell doesn't change. It stays the same. So we look at the two cells, meaning the E8, which is our test mark, and the E5, which is this. Which one between the two is not supposed to change? We can quickly see that the 110 is the one that's not supposed to change, and the 110 is cell what? Cell E5. So this cell E5 is not supposed to change. So meaning we must include dollar signs. So you can just type in your dollar sign before the letter and also before the number, dollar sign. So you say shift and then you add a dollar sign on your keyboard and you just say enter. So now when you drag, everything will be correct. Because if you can check, this one changed, but this one never changed because we included the dollar sign, or we used what? An absolute cell referencing. You can also check here. It said this one changed, but this one never changed. So that's how you use your absolute cell referencing. And it's very much important. You must make sure that you use your absolute cell referencing, because if you decide that I will just do them one by one. When they look at the formula sheet, because they will also tell you to print out your formulas. So when you say formulas, we can see all the formulas that have been used. So if you can check, we use the VLOOKUP and then also the HLOOKUP, and then there's formulas. They'll see this percentage formulas that they don't have dollar sign, so meaning you never use dollar sign in order to get the correct answer, so they'll mark you wrong. So that's why it's very key to use those dollar signs. So they never told you that use your absolute cell referencing, but you're doing N6, so you're supposed to know by now that you need to use absolute cell referencing in order to make sure that this column is constant, stays the same, doesn't change when you drag down. Okay, so we're moving on. So I hope you all understood test 1 percentage, how you get the test 1 percentage. Now we're moving on to D. So D, what are they telling us on D? So D, they're saying use the appropriate function to display the name of the top achiever if test 1 percentage are equals to or higher than 82. Display the name of the student. Otherwise, they said display what? Display the name of the student. The name of student. Otherwise, display not yet there. So they're saying what? Use the appropriate function to display the names of top achievers if test 1 percentage are equals to or higher than 82%. So in this case, we need to use what? If function. So every time when you read a statement and then the statement comes here and says if test 1 percentage, already you know that it's if function. So if they say if something, you know it's if function. So we're doing D. So we're going back to our question page, back to our answer sheet. So we're looking for our top achievers. So we're looking for our top achievers. So I have the question paper with me on my hand, so I'll just read from the question paper. So we're going to if functions, to formulas. If you want to use your if function, you just come to formulas and say logical, and then you just click on if, and then a box is supposed to appear. A box here is supposed to appear, but then doesn't appear. I don't know why. Let me just try that again. Okay, I don't know why this box doesn't want to appear where you're supposed to do your if function. Okay, so here is our box. So make sure that you are on top achiever where you need to do your calculations. So we need to do this calculation here. So we say logical, and then we say if. Now here's the box that I was talking about. So we read the statement. They're saying if test 1 percentage. So logical test. What are we testing? We're testing if test 1 percentage is equals to or higher than 82. So we're going to use what? The greater or is equals to 82%. So we're testing what? We're testing if the percentage is greater or equals to 82%. So the greater sign, how do you know? The greater sign is the one that's going to your left, to your right hand side. So the one that's going to your right hand side, you must know it's the greater sign. And then the one that's going to your left hand side, the one that's pointing to your left hand side, meaning this sign. I don't know if you can see this sign. That's your less. So if they say is equals to or if it's less or is equals to 82%, we were going to use this sign. But then this time they said is higher or equals to 82%. So hence why we use the greater sign or equals to 82%. So they say if it's equals to, so where am I reading? I don't know if I'll be able to go back to the question paper. So I'm reading. So please make sure that you have the question paper, or just take a picture of this question paper. So I'm reading here. They're saying if the test 1 percentages are equal to or higher than 82%, display the name of student, otherwise display not yet there. So let me just go back to our answer sheet. So let me just remove this here. Okay, so I have the question paper with me, so please be sure that you also have the question paper with you. Okay, so let me just move quickly because we're spending a whole lot of time explaining minor things, but then moving on. So value if true, so if is greater or equal to 82, then what must happen? They said display the name of the student. So they must display what? Display the name of the student. So name of student. Display what? Name of student. Otherwise not there yet. So value if false. So if it's below 82%, it must display what? Not yet there, like this. And then we say okay. And then as you can see, it's giving us the name of Godfrey. Why? Because this percentage is greater than 82%. So they said if it's greater than 82%, it must give us what? The name of the student. But if it was below, like this one is below 82%, it must write not there yet. So now we all know that after doing our first answer, we can just simply drag down everything. So when you drag down, this is what you get. So this is below the 82%, hence why it's written not there yet. But this one is 83%. That's why it's written the name of the student or the top achiever. So hence also the 89%, it's written what? Vulani. Okay, so moving on. So that was our if function. So now we are done with letter D. We are done with letter D. So now we're going to letter E. So we're doing letter E. They're saying use the appropriate function to display the comment. So we're doing E now. To display the comment, and then excellent for test 1 percentage higher or equal to 80%. Display comment passed for test 1 percentage higher than 60, and display fail for test 1 percentage lower than 60. So if the mark is higher than 80%, they must display what? Excellent. And then if the mark is higher than 60%, if the mark for test 1 percentage. So they say if test 1 percentage is higher or equal to 80%, it must display what? It must display excellent. And then it must display passed for test 1 percentage if it's higher or equal to 60%. And then display the comment fail for test 1 percentage if it is lower than 60. Okay, so now we're coming back to our answer sheet section. Let me just remove this E. Okay, so what needs to happen? They say use the appropriate function. So already we know that what is if function, because they're saying if it's higher or equal to 80%, then must display excellent and all those things. So in this case, we can't come to formulas and then do like we did with this box thing, because now we need to use if function on top of if function. So we need to use if function on top of if function. So in this case, we need to write the formula down ourselves. So we say is equal to if, and then we open bracket. So logical test, what are we testing? We're testing if test 1 percentage is greater or equal to 80%. So we're doing the first part. Is greater or equal to 80%. Then what must happen? Value if true, it must display what? Excellent. So if the person got 80% and above, it must display what? Display excellent. And then they said if the person got 60%, it must display passed. So we say in comma, and then we use what? Another if function. So we're going to say if, we're going to make another if function, because now we're testing another function. So we're saying if test1, we're still on test1, which is our f8 is greater or is equal to 60%, then what must happen? Must write passed. So if this here is 60%, then it must say passed. Oh, I forgot something. So please be sure to include your quotation marks. Please be sure to include those quotation marks on your excellent and your passed. Otherwise your formula is going to be wrong. So you must make sure that you include your what? Your quotation marks. And then comma, we're doing another if function. So they're saying and display the comment failed for test 1 percentage lower than 60. So if it's lower than 60, it must display fail. So in this case you can say if it's below 50, so now we are on this one, so you can just simply say value if false. So if it's below 60, so meaning if it's higher than 60. So if it's false, it's not higher than 60, then what must happen? It must say fail. So you can do it like this. It must say failed, I think. Failed, yes. It must say failed. And then we close bracket. So we closed the first bracket. Now we need to close the second bracket. So this second bracket, so the first bracket, it's this one. We close this one, and then the second one is for the entire formula. And then when you say enter, it will say excellent. Why? Because this 86 is greater than 80%. Then you can simply drag down. So this one got below 60%, hence why it said failed. This one got above 80%, it said excellent. So below 60%, so this one got 59%, so it's below 60, hence why it said failed. So this is one way to do it. And then we can also do it like this. Let me just remove all this, and then we can also, let me just go back to our initial formula. So we can also say it like this. So after this passed, you can open another if function. You can use another if function. So we say if this, we're still on f8, which is this, is, so now they say if it's lower than 60, so we're going to use the less sign. If it's less or equal to 60, oh no, there's not equal to, so this only said if it's lower than 60. If it's lower than 60, then what must happen? Let me say comma, then what must happen? It must say failed, and then quotation marks, and then we close bracket. So now we're going to close the bracket 3 times, because we're closing this first bracket here, and then the second one here, and then the third bracket here. So be sure to close the bracket 3 times. And then when you say enter, it still gives you your excellent, and then you can just simply drag down the rest of the formulas. So same thing, you still get your failed here and your failed here, but the formula in this case is different, because if you can look at your formula here, I don't know if I can increase the font of this. Okay, so I can't. So if you can look at the formula here, it said what? If F13 being this percentage is greater or equal to 80%, then it must display what? Excellent. Otherwise, if this is greater or equal to 60%, passed. If this is less than 60%, it must say failed. So this is another method of doing it. So both methods are correct, of course, because it gives you the same answer. So you can decide on which one to use. But then I suggest you use this one because it's straightforward instead of complicating your life. So be sure to close the bracket 3 times. As you can see here, I've closed the bracket three times. So moving on. So we're done with E. So let's go back to our question paper. So number 6, they're saying copy all the formulas of functions where applicable. So copy, they said, so copy, it's the way I did it, which is to range. So you only do this first answer and then you just range the rest of the answers. So that's what they mean here. So we're already done with that. So they say save the spreadsheet as question 610A. So you'll just go to save. So you can just files and then save as. So save as, so I'll just save it. Let me just save it on desktop or documents. Yeah, desktop is fine. So they said save it as what? Save the spreadsheet as question 10A max. Just like this, and you just say save. And then you're supposed to make a printout. They said, okay, let me just go back to the question. And then number 8, they say print the spreadsheet without rows and column headings in landscape orientation on one page and place the printout in your examination folder. So how do you print out? So let me just quickly show you. You just say file and then you say print. So they're saying without rows and column headings. So let me show you if ever they said with rows and columns. So if you can see your question paper here, here's a template, not really a template, but a preview. Yes, a preview of how your king. Okay, I forgot today's date. So we're supposed to insert today's date here. So let me just quickly go back. And then we're supposed to insert today's date. So let me just cancel this. So we're supposed to insert today's date here. So let me just cancel everything. And then so today's date, the formula is equals to now. So it will show me what? Today's date. So you just open and close bracket same time and then say enter. So when you say enter, it will show you today's date. It also showed you together with the time. That's if they required you to also do the time. But then if they didn't require you to do the time, you can just simply just choose date and then it will only show you the date. So that's how you do that. And then so now I can show you how to print. So let me just save and then let me just print. So they said print without rows and column headings. So if you can see, there's nothing here, so which is correct. But then if they said with rows and column headings, so they said landscape, it must be landscape. So we select landscape. Usually it's on portrait, so you just select landscape and then everything must be in one page. So now I want to show you the rows and column headings. If they said with rows and column headings, okay, so here's your rows and column heading. So if you can look at your question paper, not your question paper, your answer sheet, yeah, your printout, the printout that you're going to make. If you can see on the side here, there is nothing. But then once you click row and column headings and then you say okay, now you can see there is those that 1 2 3 4 5 and then those A B C D E F G until whatever. So in this case they said what? Without those things. So we'll just untick them. So just untick, and then you say okay. So now they will disappear. Now they disappeared. So this is how they want the question, the answer sheet. And then you can just say print. So all formulas are in one page. So they said it must all be in one page. So it's all in one page. So you can just simply print. So I will quickly do the last question, which is this question here. So I will quickly do question 10b. So I'll quickly do question 10b. So they said the purpose of this question is to display the formulas. So the purpose of this is to display what? Is to display formulas that you used in question 10a. So if this video is helpful to you guys, please do like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on other content that I'll be posting. So please do like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything that I'll be posting. Yes, so if it's helpful to you guys, this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. And then so moving on. So A, they said number 1, they said retrieve the file saved as question 10A marks. So we're already on that file because our answer sheet is already on 10A. So this is our 10A. So you can see here it said what? Question 10A. So we're already on the question paper. And then they said what? Number 2. So we're going to number 2. They say change the question number in the header to 10B. So let's go back to our answer sheet. So they said you must change this question number to 10B. So you can just say 10B, and then just like that you're done. And then number 3, they're saying hide column what? Column A, D, N, and E. So they said you must hide column A, D, N, E. So column A, and then D, E. So let me just hide them one by one. So you just come here, you just column A, you just highlight everything on column A, and then you say hide. They also said you must hide column D. So you just click on column D, and then you just hide. And then also they said E, you must also hide E. So just hide. So you just go up there, and you just left click, and then you right click, and then you say hide. So but then this one was not, they never said you must hide F. So they only said what? A, D, and E. So A, D, and E. So they are not there. So we've successfully hide them. And then they also said and the 2 reference tables. So you must also hide what? The 2 reference tables. So let me go back to our answer, and then the 2 reference tables. So here's our 2 reference tables. So we just 16 on the 16 here, you just right click, and then you go down, not right click, actually left click, and then you just go down, and then you right click so that it shows you your options, and you can just say what? You can just say hide, and then it hides. Now we go back to our question. So we're done with number 3. So coming back to number 4. Number 4, they said center the spreadsheet horizontally and vertically on the question paper. So you just come to page layout, and then the page setup, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let me just see sheet option. Okay, so it's not sheet option, so you can just say margins. And then they said you must center the page horizontally and vertically. So you just click on that horizontally and vertically, and just say okay. I'm doing the thingy on the wrong page. So you please make sure that you're on the right sheet, because I was doing it on the wrong sheet. So just make sure that you're on the right sheet. So let me just redo that again. So just page setup, and then we go to our margins, and then center horizontally and vertically, and then say okay. So it has been centered horizontally and vertically. So in this case you won't be able to see, but then you'll see that when we make the print out. So coming back to number 5. Number 5, they say display the formulas or functions. So you just come to formulas and then show formulas. You just press. I'm doing everything on the wrong sheet, so let me just undo. Undo. Hide. And then question 1. Oh gosh, yummy. Okay, so I don't know what happened here, but then let's just use it as it is. So we're doing 5, if I'm not mistaken. Display all formulas. So display all formulas, going back to our answer sheet, and then you just say formulas, show formulas, and then our formulas will appear. Our formulas will appear. Okay, so display all formulas, and then number 6, they say change the column width so that all formulas and functions are legible. So come back here, and then so all the formulas appear, so it's fine. So this one, it's totally fine because everything does appear, but then these formulas are missing. It's a shutdown. Oh yes, so we must change the column width so that everything appears. So let me just, and then also here everything must appear. So let me just, so the column width, so this is our column width, so they said we must change it so that all formulas appear. And then going back to our question paper, save the spreadsheet as question 10b, so you know how to save that, and then print out the spreadsheet with rows and column headings in landscape orientation on one page, and place the printout in your examination folder. So all this information must be in one page. If you can see here already, it's in 2 different pages. So let's try to make it all, to fit it all in one page. So let's just, this width here, we just close that, and then let's just also close this, just close like this, and then our test percentage, let's just close like this, and then so some of our information is still on page. So let's come to files, and then we say print. If you can see, not everything is in one page because so it's landscape. So what you can do to make sure that everything is everything is in one page, so when you do this, everything will be in one page, because if you can recall, in the beginning they said we must use what, Arial 10, not 12. So I used 12. So if you can say Arial 10, so let me just highlight everything and see if when we change that to 10, if everything will be able to fit in one page. Okay, so now we have something like this. So we can say, we can close this, and then we also close this, and then we close this, and then we also close this. Okay, so still doesn't fit into one page. Still doesn't fit into one page because this formula is too big. So you can just say we're gonna use a shortcut and say print, and then go to our page setup and say fit into one page. You can just simply say fit into one page and then say okay. So everything is being fit into one page. So here is everything in one page. Now you can simply print out. So in this case they said print with rows and columns. So they said you must print with rows and columns. So you come here and then you say sheet and then rows and column headings in landscape. So it's already in landscape and on one page, and place the printout in your examination folder. So you can just simply say okay. So you say okay, your rows and column headings appear now. Here's your 1 2 3 4 5 until whatever, and then kanjalo kanjalo. So this is the end of our video. So tomorrow or sometime during the week I'll post another video doing something different. So if this video was helpful to you guys, please do like and also subscribe so that you don't miss out on more on the other videos that I'll be posting. So without wasting any more of your time, thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a lovely day or night. Thank you.